This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by trainer, manager, promoter, everything that there is to do in boxing. He does it, Mr. Joe Gallagher here over Zoom. Joe, first and foremost, how are you doing?
I'm all right, mate. We've arrived, and we're in the fight bubble, as they call it. So arrived. We're here. We've checked into the rooms. I don't think they could have got us to any worse rooms, me and Natasha, and I've had to swap rooms because of I don't think the cleanliness or the smell in here isn't the best. So we understand the games that's going on at the moment. So it is what it is, and we've just got to get on with it.
Obviously, it was kind of well documented, today and obviously yesterday. You guys weren't in the initial kind of phase of getting there when everybody else did to check in and go through the COVID test and what have you. I know we briefly touched on it during our interview last week, I believe it was when I came up to the gym, but can you just kind of expand on it as to why you guys decided to come up today instead of yesterday?
It's quite straightforward. Natasha, she's a single parent, she's a mum, and at the moment Manchester's in some type of form of lockdown, temporary lockdown. I'm my mum and my son's my mum's carer. Natasha's her nana's main carer, and she's got a young daughter to think about. Obviously, child minding and getting people like that now with this pandemic on, it's very hard to get hold of, and we were waiting on, like I say, Tasha sorting that out. So I think it's very quick for people to jump and say it's Gallagher's mind games and stuff like that. It's none whatsoever. We've got a mum here, a single mum with a daughter that's trying to get childcare and get a family to help her out so she can come down and do it, and that's what she did. So there was no delay. Natasha is here. I'm here. She'll be here for the press conference tomorrow. She'll be here for the weigh-in Thursday, and she'll be here for the fight Friday. So Natasha, the people that don't understand that, it's like we can't just jump in a car and get off, and we've got wives to look after, but she's got a daughter on her own. And I think before people start judging, seeing Terri Harper slating her and Steffi Bull, well, they should know better. Well, like you say, it's different. Tasha's got a child, and that's foremost, and everything else, it's looking after a child. And we came down today. We did our board check way in Manchester, and we've come down now, and we're ready to rock and roll. And I just think it's all right for the other fighters out here, Chris, Callum Smith, and all the others. Fair play to them. Do you know what I mean? They've got loved ones at home that are looking after their children that are not, but people forgetting this. And then for me to start hearing rumours that they've got to try and fine Natasha or take money off Natasha, it's fucking disgusting. Sorry for swearing. It's like, I don't know how true it is, but for them to try and contemplate, you've got a mum here who's been given a shot at a world title, and she's doing the best thing she can to be in the best shape that she can, and she's making sure her daughter's looked after before she comes down here and ready to go and take on it in a worst time. If they ever think about fining him, that'll be a huge PR disaster to do that. Do you understand? That's absolutely disgusting. So whoever's starting that rumour, that needs squashing straight away. Because whether it's just tactics to try and upset Natasha, thinking it's mind games, it's not at all. Like you say, it's the welfare and looking after her daughter and the welfare of Natasha Jonas. And that's the reason why we came down here today. As Natasha, the care and everything, I weren't available till today. And once she'd sorted that out this morning, done a check way, we came down. Listen, we're apologetic if it's upset other people that are here who feel that we've tried to do it for some other reason, but we're not. Until you're in Natasha Jonas's shoes and that, then come and talk to me about it, but you're not. So, like I say, back off her. Do you know what I mean? She's here and she's ready to do a number on Friday night. And for the interviews that I've seen of Terri to be saying it's usually disrespectful, Terri, you're not a mum, so don't ever try and turn around and talk about something that you know nothing about. So she's not being disrespectful, and stop trying to brown nose Adam Smith, Sky, everything else. Do you understand? This is what it's all about. Do you know what I mean? And Sky, there's one thing, and it sounds like I'm on a bit of a rant. There's one thing I'm really concerned: the biasm that's been shown towards this. I understand sanctioning bodies have their champion, like the WBC, the IBO, but usually when it comes to fight week, they step back and be neutral. But the IBO are going over above and beyond, plugging everything to Terri Harper, and so she's a champion. But that gets me worried then about the officiating of the judges. If they've got to be that biased in the social media plugging it, sends me to worry. Tasha's 4 down before we ever start. The WBC don't seem to be that, and obviously they go with the moniker of their honesty and integrity and everything else, but they don't seem to be getting involved in that. And you looking at everything that's going out there from Sky at the moment, people say, oh, but you weren't here to do the interviews. But it's just they're the champion and everything else. And I think they've been very disrespectful. And to Natasha, Jonas and Macklin doing a podcast coming out saying she's over the hill and past it. Well, Matthew, instead of sitting at home saying that, come up to the gym, do what a proper journalism, what you're supposed to do, what they used to do years ago. Go out into the gymnasiums, watch them, come up and see Natasha sparring Chantel Cameron, sparring all the other girls. Don't sit there and write her off. Now, I thought Matthew Macklin and Adam Smith's commentary was very persuasive last weekend, and that reflected in the scorecards. After talking to John Pegg, he said to me that you could hear Matthew and Adam Smith clear. Sam's fighting and he's listening to Matthew Macklin saying Ted Cheeseman's running away with it. So if he's hearing that, the judges are hearing it. Now, I've said today, and I've mentioned it, and I'll say, hey, now, what they need to do with the judges is do what I've seen the WBC do at times, is put headphones on them so they can't hear no commentary, or put Adam Smith and J. Matthew Macklin back in the truck or in a booth or something, because what they were saying reflected on 2 of the judges' scorecards. The 2 judges, ironically, that were closest to Matthew and Adam. So they're my concerns. So I just think to myself, well, these judges can be swayed here, and I'm just hoping, I'm not questioning any integrity. The judges got to score it as they see it. But if they're listening and hearing Cheeseman's running away with this, and they're talking about how well Ted Cheeseman's doing, and they're not commenting on Sam Eggington, that was a very close fight last weekend that I thought went on whoever won the last round. It wasn't as wide as what they had it, and some of the judges. Now, I know I'm open for ridicule with the John Ryder, Callum Smith, but we're talking about this, and the way it's gearing up is like, we've got to be 4 down before we even start. All I need now is Matthew Macklin and Adam Smith to be talking that loud, that's influencing them and everything. So all I'm wanting is a level playing field, just a level playing field. We understand she's the champion, so we're 2 rounds down. But what I will say, Andy, is what's the scoring punch? It's on the target area, isn't it? It's on the head, body, everything else. Okay. So a punch that you're throwing, it doesn't land, doesn't score, does it?
Yeah.
Right? Terri Harper throws around 100 punches that don't land. She lands very few. So don't be getting took by her busy and the landing nothing. Score the shots that land on the target. And she hits more on the back of the head for it. So I'm going to be on the referee for the dirty tricks that they do. And I'm asking the judges to score it fair. Score for punches landed, not for busy 3s and 4s that miss but look good. And last week, Sam Egerton was landing some great shots, and Sky didn't mention it. They were talking about Ted Cheeseman and Sam Egerton's landing 2 or 3. Now, I'm not saying Sam Egerton should have won the fight. All I'm saying, it was a closer fight than the scorecard was. But what it's done after talking to John Pegg is widened me to how judges ringside can be influenced, how TV commentary can. As you see, Sky are building up Terri Harper to be the next potential Katie Taylor. And I'm saying, listen, don't be trying to finger, be fair and land and throw and comment on shots that are landed clean on the target. Clean. Not back of the head, not missing, not throwing 2 or 3, not landing any. Shots that are landed clean. And then we'll, like you say, we're in a good fight. And they're the things that have got me heckles up to think, Joe, what, it's John Pegg had a good point when he phoned me and told me about them things that Matthew and Adam, he said you couldn't hear anything apart from them 2, and the judges are sat there hearing it. Sam's fighting and he's hearing it, and he's thinking, I've just landed him, and they're talking about Ted Cheeseman doing something. So that's got to be quelled. And people say, oh, but in the arena. Yeah, of course it's in the arena. These things happen, but you have a crowd. But this is a world title fight. People have been very disrespectful to Natasha Jonas. This is Natasha Jonas's 100-meter Olympic final. This is her Ronaldo, Messi World Cup final. This is her Anthony Joshua world title fight. Do you understand? Just because it's a women's one, don't downplay it. This is a huge, huge opportunity for Natasha Jonas, and one she's got to grab with both hands. So people have to be a little bit respectful. They need to check what they're saying, because I think Terry's been very disrespectful, saying she's past it now. And I think Steffi Bull, I think, has gone very erratic on social media. So I think they're trying that hard to cover up Terri Harper's knockout and sparring. They're going the other way with it now. So, like you say, we'll see come fight night. But they're just a few things. I know it was a big one, Andy, at the time, but it was while it was on my mind that we just had to get out there and put it out there in the public domain. And because everyone will want to try and silence what I have to say this week, because they won't want to talk to me about. I'm not here to upset everyone, but all I'm here is to look after Natasha Jonas and her safety and her well-being. And we've got to be in a fight, and we want to be given the fair rub of the green.
Joe, there's a number of things you've said there that I've kind of wanted to pick up on and expand on, or get you to expand on. I mean, firstly, for everyone who does tune in to watch this, we're doing this on Tuesday night, so there's a good chance that this goes out on Wednesday in case anybody gets confused by dates and what have you. But first and foremost, you mentioned, we've spoken about you guys arriving today. What was your knowledge with regards to the arrival dates? You know, what did the board say to you? Did they say to you before you got there, it's fine to you to come by Tuesday? Was they against it? What's your knowledge on it?
No, Andy, I had said to Matchroom last week, I'd spoke to message to everyone, we'll be arriving on the Tuesday. They said, you got to come on the Monday. I said, no, we'll be arriving Tuesday. Childcare, everything else, Tasha will be arriving Tuesday. So they tried to force us to come Monday, and I'm like, yous are making a big thing out of this. I've just said to you, Natasha's childcare starts on Tuesday. She's managed to get it sorted, so it'll be Tuesday. That's all. We're not missing anything Monday today, apart from a photo shoot or an interview with someone. But we'll catch that up tomorrow. But I did tell them last week, and I think because they thought I was trying to tell them to run, I'm not. It was just like, they should have said, okay, we understand, Natasha, there's an epidemic going on. Everything changes 5 o'clock every day when Boris decides to finish his tea and come out. So at that moment last week, it was like, okay, this is it. It's going to be Tuesday. And that was it. But they would try to force it more to make it bigger than what it is. Do you understand? And saying, okay, we understand that, instead of trying to put pressure and everything else. And it's like, listen, Natasha's got a great team, MTK being very supportive, and they understand the reasons. And they said, no problem, Joe, no problem. We've got to do what's right for Natasha. Do you understand? How can she come down tomorrow, and where's she got to leave the child? We've got to understand. And I think that they've blown this up bigger than what it needed to be. They were told last week we were coming down on Tuesday, numerous times.
Another thing I wanted to pick up on that you said earlier, Joe, you mentioned, Macklin, obviously somebody you used to train as well. Was it, in particular then, was you even more so surprised that he seemed to kind of, do the podcast and maybe push Tasha to the side a bit from what you're saying?
Well, listen, Matthew, the interview was on Sky, who works for Sky and everything else, but Matthew should know better to write Natasha Jonas at 36 off at apparel. When Matthew Macklin drew with Georg Ajkovic, people had wrote Macklin off. They wrote him off. He said he was finished. It was in the Last Chance Saloon. He came to me, and everyone didn't have him to win. Boxing News had him to lose against Wayne Elcock, who had just come off a loss to Arthur Abraham. And Matthew Macklin went down and won and knocked him out. His next fight, he won the European title, and he should have won Asakainen. So that's somebody there that was in that position. So you should know better than to write Natasha off. And you can't be saying that if you've not been and seen a training. Everyone's going off a defeat 2 years ago that maybe Natasha wasn't at the races that day, and people are thinking that same Natasha's turning up. And I just think everyone's contradicting themselves. It's a world title fight. Like I said, it's her Olympic 100-metre final. Do you think Natasha's not got to put everything into it? But 2 years ago when they said, Vivian Obanov, Katie Taylor, Chantel Cameron, they've all beat her. I don't think Tasha's thought, I'll beat her, and maybe been a bit lackadaisy. And that's what happened. Or you can't write Tasha off. And if Tasha pulls it up, then hopefully they're big enough to accept that they got it wrong. And if she doesn't and she loses, it wasn't for the want of trying. And listen, Matthew Macklin got it right, and everyone else got it right. But this isn't a one-horse race. This, I'm telling you that now.
Is that how you feel? Is that how you feel like effectively people are just already looking at Terri as the victor before either of them maybe even step foot in the ring?
100%. All you've got to do is go on Sky website and Sky Sports Boxing, Sky Podcast, everything. They'll say to me, "Oh, Joe, but you weren't here on Monday to do things." Tasha's been available 9 weeks for all her interviews with Sky. Even the Sky promo, I think there was 10 clips of Harper and 6 of Jonas, or 7. So you can see how it's heavyweight for the champion. But listen, she's a world champion. I understand that. But when it was Callum Smith, John Ryder, and Callum's the world champion, John Ryder got more push from Sky than Callum Smith, and he was the champion. So you start thinking to yourself, they've got it in, whoever's there, they've got it in for the team and the squad up there. And it's not me saying it, I can produce evidence, facts, everything. The amount of pressers, the whole lot gets minuted and noted. And that's why I'm concerned about the commentary on the night, and to make sure, hopefully, the board and the WBC may say to the officials, wear headphones, or they'll put Adam and Matthew in a booth or a truck somewhere.
Joe, another thing which I was trying to touch on as well, you mentioned the commentary perspective and how John Pegg obviously is very vocal over social media after the Eggington Cheeseman fight. He mentioned that when he was ringside, he could hear the Sky commentary kind of bellowing towards the ring, despite the larger gap than what there normally would be. How much of a concern, once again, is that for you then, especially having spoken to John?
Well, it isn't that. It's just like it's like boxing. We've all seen the film Focus with Will Smith. It's the constant drip feed. These officials are normal human beings. They're at work in the day. They'll be talking about the referee and the official. And they look at some of them are boxing fans. They're on social media. And they've been drip fed all week. Tasha's over, she's 36. Terri's the big girl, the up and coming girl, the big this. And subconsciously it's in there. Then they're in the ring or they're sat judging and they're hearing commentary saying that this is happening and that's happening, and they're talking about how well Terri Harper's done, and it's influencing them, and it's a constant steady drip feed. Does that make sense? And I'm saying, listen, like the IBO, the way they're going at the moment, and that's it. That's going above and beyond what they're doing at the moment. I've never seen them post so much, not even for Andi Joshua. And so I want the judges to do is be fair. I know I'm open for ridicule because they'll throw Smith Ryder at me, but that's not my job. Them individuals sit there and do their job. Well, don't listen to what they're saying in the background, and don't be influenced to what's being pumped in your TV screens or on social media over the next few days. We'll see, because can't have that. We can't have that. Tasha's up against it as it is, and we're here to do a job, and we've got to do that.
Joe, I've known you now for a few years, and I've interviewed you on numerous occasions. Well, it's been longer than a few years, and I've interviewed you on numerous occasions. And certainly this one in particular, this interview, it's the most probably animated that I've seen you. If Natasha is successful come Friday night, would this be the biggest win? Well, not the biggest win, or where would it rank with regards to your victories as a trainer?
Well, you've asked me in the past what's my best moment. People do. I could never single one Callum, Liam Smith, Quigg, Crawler, Steve Foster, amateurs, Joe Marie Olympians, John Murray. I could never make it one. But what I would say, it'd be right up there with Cam Johnson, Buglione. It'd be right up there. Do you understand? Because it's like you say animated. I'm not saying animated. I'm just saying what I'm saying to them. I'm sick of listening and watching the pure bullshit and the bison that's going on, and I'm thinking, hang on a minute. I need to say something here, or they've got to fuck us Saturday night, whether it be on air for commentary-wise or judges ringside, and I need to make everyone aware that they're fucking on it. Do you understand? And they're there to do the job. We've done our job. Tasha's done her job, and we've got to go in there and give it her best. And that's all we want, is everyone there to be at their best. Terri Harper and Steph Buller got to be at their best, and may the right person win.
I did an interview with Steffi yesterday, to be fair. I know, there's been an article from Sky where I've had quotes from you and him, and people kind of read it as if kind of like a back and forth situation. But he said that he actually looks up to you because of what you've done in the sport. Is there a rivalry there, though, from your point of view between yourself and Steffi?
No, not at all. Steffi's made it between me and him when he said, "Oh, it'll be 2-0." It isn't to me. I'm fully concentrated on Terri Harper. I'm not Steffi Bull. And Steffi's done well, kept boxing well up there in Doncaster. I've known him a long time. He was a good pro. And yeah, he's doing well. And he's done good for grassroots boxing and small hall boxing. No rivalry whatsoever. All I'm trying to do is, I hear a rumour that Terry's knocked out. Has she been knocked out or not? I see rubbish being talked about Natasha. I'm going to stand up and protect my fighter, very much in the same way he will with Terry. I thought it was a bit classless on the weekend on social media, watching Tasha going boom and she get this and done that. But listen, they're all getting a little bit excited now near the big fight. And I think they're feeling the pressure. I think putting clips up of Terry trying to snot an 8.5 stone girl around the ring shows you that they're trying to defend not getting knocked out. And also at the same time, I think the pressure's getting to them. They know they're a huge favourite. They're talking the talk. Well, they've got to deliver. They've got to beat a 36-year-old past it. And Terry knows after this, she's got a hard fight with either Michaela Meyer, who's calling her out, or Thunderers. So she's in hard fights, and she's most probably been promised this fight, this money and everything else. And I think they've seriously overlooked Natasha Jonas, and we'll see Friday night. But I'm not going to sit back and let people talk shite about my fighter.
Joe, just a final thing before we actually do touch on the fight and what to expect come Friday. When I was on social media over the weekend, I saw Liam Smith put a couple of tweets to Steffi, and then I went on, I think it was today, and Stephen put up a photo saying he'd been blocked by Steffi. Can you actually explain to me what Liam's tweets meant? Because I didn't actually understand them.
I haven't got a clue. I've not seen Liam, so I haven't got a clue. So listen, the grown men, they're their own things. They can do what they want. Blocking Stephen. Stephen's like a crawler, one of the nicest kids. I don't think Stephen has said anything. So in blocking Stephen, like you say, it just shows that maybe the pressure's getting to them. Steph will laugh it off like he always tries and does. He's trying to protect his fight at Terry. But yeah, it's like the thing. It's like this as well. People forget Natasha. The common opponents, all right, Terry got the win over Obernuff because she was pumped up. It was a big scalp. She was best. But all the other common opponents, Terry went distance with. Tasha knocked them out. Tasha knocked the other common opponents out where Terry went the points. So who's the big puncher? We'll see. I really do feel this has got to be a Callum Johnson, Frank Buglione. You wait and see Friday night.
Joe, let's obviously come on to Friday night then. And from what you've seen in Tasha this camp, and you compare it to any previous camp that you've had working together from when she joined the gym, what should we expect to see from her, and what should we expect to see from the pair of them on Friday night?
Like I said when you interviewed me the other week, you cannot sit there and commentary and say, put this down to who wants it most, because they both want it bad. Natasha does, Terry does, Steffi Bull does, I do. For Natasha, like you say, it's a huge opportunity for a last chance saloon. Of course it is. We've been handed like the Charlie Chocolate and the Chocolate Factory golden ticket. It's a massive opportunity. She's got a gate crash, shock the world. Of course it is. So she's trained like she's going to shock the world. She's sparred like she's got to shock the world with Chantel Cameron, other good fighters. Iron sharpens iron. She's one of the fittest fighters I've had going into a fight. And that's a massive compliment when you think of the fighters that I've gone through. And she's punching hard. They're on about the weight and everything. Weight ain't a problem. Should have checked weight today. And from what I've been told, 2 or 3 check weights. Tasha's been lighter than Terry in all of them. So, like, that's a load of nonsense. The thing is funny, they're deflecting it. I think Terry looks very gaunt and drained. I think she really, really does. She looks absolutely not with it at times in some of the video clips I've seen today. So I think they're just trying to deflect everything from themselves to us. But it's Tasha's absolutely done everything we've asked of her, and full credit to her. And win or lose Friday night, I'll be hugely proud of her. Everyone in the gym will be hugely proud of her. It's a shame Sky and the people who want to talk about are disrespecting and over the hill didn't come up and see the work and the ethic. But the people out there, you go and speak to Chantel Cameron, you go and speak to the sparring partners, you go and speak to the people around them. John Pegg, who was up there watching, Jamie Moore, who was up there watching. You go and ask them and see is Natasha Jonas over the hill. And they'll tell you she's not. And she's a very live opponent come Friday night.
Joe, obviously we've touched on, you know, kind of everything to do with Tasha Jonas and Terri Harper there. Final thing, as I'll always have to ask for an update. Any news with regards to the Canelo Callum Smith conversations?
I had Eddie Hearn phone me today, and thought, bloody hell, Eddie don't phone often. Must have the Canelo fight. Hi Joe, how far away are you? Oh, fucking hell, Eddie. I thought you were phoning up to say we've got the Canelo fight. No, there's another thing. Callum Smith had to train today as well. Eddie keeps saying to Callum, just stay on it, stay on it, stay on it, in case they put it on us. So Callum Smith's training like a demon back up in Manchester, Liverpool. He's in the gym, he's training. So it's not that easy as well. That with the thing, it's like, I mean, Callum's training for Canelo on September the 12th, just in case they put it on it. Until the 100% say it's not happening, which no one has said, we've got to still keep training because we've put our name in the hat to say we're available. So I don't want them to say to Callum, like Callum did a check way the other day. I don't say to Callum, right, it's you, 5 weeks out. And I go, and we go, oh, but we didn't give us notice. No, you put your name in the hat to be ready for September the 12th. So Callum Smith's training like he's fighting for September the 12th. And until we're told otherwise, that's how it is. And yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
Joe, we will leave that there now, and obviously I will leave you to kind of try and enjoy the rest of your evening. I know you said you wasn't too happy with the room, but I'm sure you'll have to find something to take up your time and to make do with it.
Yeah.
So it's always been a pleasure. Obviously, best of luck with the rest of your preparations, and of course on fight night. Thank you for your time as always, and thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
No problem, Andy. Good to see you, mate, and make sure you get up to the gym on Monday.